everyone, I'm Krista McBeath and welcome back to another segment of the Retirement and Financial Focus. I have Chad Ritchie from Ritchie Law Firm here with me, and this month, we've been talking about the keys to creating an estate plan that fits you. So today is our last segment in this series, and we're talking about who do I need on my estate planning team?
Sure. So when you're talking about your estate planning team, you could think about it in two ways. First of all, there's the professionals that you may have in your life, such as your attorney, your financial advisor, and your accountant. So whenever someone comes to my office about estate planning, I always want to. That's on the questionnaire. Who are your financial advisors and who are your tax people as well. They can help a lot with figuring out what your assets are, and so we can, as far as estate planning, know what assets we're dealing with and how we can go from there.
Okay.
So then the second aspect of having an estate planning team or helpers are the people that you name in your actual estate planning documents. What I mean by that, for your will, you're always going to need to name an executor. An executor is the person that manages your estate after you pass away to make sure those assets that you have go to where you want them to go per your will. If you have a trust, you need to name trustees, and those are people that manage the assets in any trust that you may have. And they they basically look at the trust and they see where those assets go and how distributions are to be made and so forth. We talked about this a little bit last week, but power of attorneys.
Right.
Those are people that, while you're still living, make decisions on your behalf for healthcare and property-related type things as well. And then also people with young kids, minor children, need to name guardians for their children in their will. So that's sometimes one of the hardest things that people, the decisions they need to make is, if something happens to both of us, who would take care of our kids? And so that's, I think, a lot of procrastination, because that is such a hard decision for a lot of people to make.
Yeah, and I know that oftentimes people have a hard time just picking a trustee of a trust. And when you come down to the guardians, it is because it's so much harder to think about anybody other than yourself raising your children.
Right.
So if we have any young parents or parents in general with young children that tune into this, I think that would be one of the things that I'm most passionate about. It's not a fun process, but it's so important.
Right. And one thing with naming all of these helpers is that, it's hard to, we can't predict the future. We don't know what's going to happen in 1 year, 2 years, let alone 20 years. So, name the helpers that you have in your life right now. And you can always change that. It's really easy to amend your documents to change those people in the next 2, 3, 5 years. So I always recommend people just check those estate planning documents, make sure you've got the right people in place for where you're at right now.
Yeah, that's really important. Okay, so we have wrapped up our segment on the keys to creating an estate plan that fits you. Again, if you haven't checked out our past segments this month, make sure you do that. Click the link below, because we have some joint events coming up that you are not going to want to miss out on. And again, Chad, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. It's been great.